Cosmic Rose. Welcome to beautiful weather. They say the rainy season is approaching its end. At least in the different parts of Japan. But here it's still rainy season. It's just rained 2-3 times. I don't think there was any rainy season. Oh, I'm not looking forward towards the summer. It's already 33 Celsius. Very tired people are playing tennis. 86 inside last today, that's not that bad. I had a terrible weekend. It was so hot. Terribly hot. Was even thinking to turn on the air conditioning, but somehow I fell asleep on my hammock. It was like dying. And then I woke up. It's like, oh, I'm back alive. So disorienting, right? Because you don't usually sleep on the hammock. Very weird feeling. Yeah, inside. Don't come to Japan. You might fry. Some people are doing barbecue over there. Oh, there's another person doing barbecue and another over there. Solo barbecue. That's quite nice. Oh my gosh, 100 Fahrenheit outside. Yeah, that's the worst. That's when you need air conditioning. I don't get it, in Canada, the air conditioning is all central. Nice air is blowing into each room. It's cold. And here they have these individual air conditioning units built onto the wall, and then the pipe goes through the wall to the outside to the radiator. And if you have a house with 6 rooms, you have 6 of these things, and each one is $3,000. What a crazy thing. Here it says it's forbidden to do barbecue here. Maybe they planted some trees here, shrubs. Oh, I smell that guy over there. The ninja guy is doing some sausages, meat maybe. What a good smell, what a good smell. Trees look like they need more water. Well, seeds are coming soon. It's a maple with strange maple leaves. It's looking more like those maples on Mount Fuji. Completely like a really roundish leaves. Not the usual maple leaf. No one's here. Too hot. Sometimes people eat lunch here. $86.30 inside. Yeah. Here it's more like 32 inside. That's why I go outside in that hammock. But I'm waiting till night because sun will kill me. Maybe in the afternoon it's better. little bit better. And open the windows, get the air flying. It's really nice if I put laundry on my door and it's dry in 30 minutes with the air, with the wind passing through. I have AC, yeah, but I don't run it really because I have this draft of air. But you know, if it's really humid, I have to run it. Like, you know, typhoon day, because there's no way I can sleep. Usually at night there's this breeze that comes through and the temperature goes maybe like 29, 28. That's still okay. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's just my normal voice. I don't know why people think it's nice. Not cool enough outside to open the window until about 3 a.m. Oh my gosh. Yeah, maybe you have some different climate. Here, you know, if you have a house, there's no way any wind will come. If you live, you know, high up, yeah, that works. And of course, you know, you have to be like Yokohama. It's super humid and hot. Like there are lots of hills, and nothing, not really, can help you. You gotta have air conditioning. Yeah, you know, there are places where there's no breeze at all. I think here during day, in the morning, the wind goes from the north, and then it switches from the south, and then the southern wind blows and blows and blows and blows. And then it goes into the night, everything dies down. There's still some of that southern wind. And I think that makes it go cool. I think in the winter there's only northern wind. I hear a cicada. Yeah, houses are low to get any breeze going, I think. But Yokohama in the house, it's brutal. So brutal and humid. Like this humidity stays in between those hills and nothing is moving. It's really like sauna. Here's cicada. They are almost ready for the summer, which is not here yet. I think they need hotter than this, like 38 and humid and a typhoon. They love it. The AC for our area comes from San Francisco and it's called the Delta breeze. Oh, so you do have some kind of a breeze. Yeah. And the AC in Canada comes from the north and it's called the polar vortex, minus 60 Celsius in the winter. Gosh, that's brutal. Crazy. I think the turtles from Japan go somewhere over there with the current and they turn around and then they come back here. The Kuroshio current. When it happens, but not. Oh, I know. I see. Yeah. You know, here when the typhoon comes, it gets so super hot. Like all this tropical, unimaginable moisture comes from the south, gets pushed like directly from the ocean. So not only it's hot, but it's hot and super humid. and it's unbearable. There's even, I was looking at some weather app, and they had some scale of, you know, how miserable it is. Yeah, but you know, the typhoon, even the wind is blowing, everything is hot and humid, like the rain is warm. And sometimes, of course, you know, no breeze at all, flat ocean, which happens more in the winter, but yeah, summer sometimes is like that too. Like there's nothing to cool off. Maybe the beach still has some minimal breeze. Usually there's a nice steady wind from the south on the beach. But the problem is walking on the sand. It's so hot. You need shoes or you burn your feet. No or low humidity. Oh, you have a very nice place. It's almost like Saskatchewan. Very low humidity. It can be plus 42, but you won't feel it because no moisture in the air. I always lived in places with low humidity. I've never been to tropics like here. My goodness, it's like thinking of an Amazon native in Amazon jungle, not melting and not being eaten by mosquitoes and flies and everything else. So amazing how quiet these cars are these days. You can only hear the sound of the tires now. Oh, a little bit of engine. But maybe, you know, 20 years ago you could still hear, oh, that's a motorbike, the loudest. You could still hear some noises from the engines. It's very nice. Many cars are hybrid these days, or they have very small engines, very efficient for fuel. And it's quieter and less pollution. I remember the times with unleaded gasoline. My goodness, what kind of environment did I live in? Oh, I'm too old to suddenly have no AC after 30 years. Yeah, I know. You know, it's like here, if I turn it on, I just cannot turn it off because my body adjusts and expects the AC to be on, and I cannot sleep, I cannot do anything. And I also turn off the gas heating, and I take, you know, cold showers. I don't use any hot water for a whole 4 or 5 months till winter comes. And it's somehow when I transition into this, it's so hot. I mean, it's so cold, like when you know, cold water, that it's almost unbearable. But after a few days, it's just normal. You just want to just dive under it. Under the cold water. 23, yeah, 23 is pretty good. That's the normal. Was the normal. It will never come back. Oh, hi Valerie, how are you doing? Welcome to the end of rainy season. Almost. And the nice weather today. Water in the pipes is naturally hot. You know, that's what happens. That's true. Because I'm such a weakling that I cannot stand cold water in the winter. But somehow in the summer, I have an impression that it indeed is warmer than normal. And I don't need to heat it. I wash my dishes in it, I take a shower in the cold water. Good, yeah. Dalai Lama, 90th birthday. Really? He's that old? Gosh. Where is he these days? I had a thunderstorm. Oh, that would be so refreshing. You know, here, not much rain. Global warming took away the rainy season. Who's Dalai Lama? Was he the spiritual leader of Tibet that China does not agree with? It's so nice in the shade here. Oh, we have ants working. Look at them working. Oh, they actually have an entrance here. I have 4 types of ants at home in a control environment. I'm thinking of buying extra equipment for their ant nests. But it's getting so hot. I don't think, normal ants like anything above 30 Celsius. I think mostly they are underground, right? So it's below 30. So I worry maybe the ant keeping isn't as easy as I thought it would be. Dalai Lama on about 40 YouTube channels. Mashallah. Why do people keep ants? A hobby, You can observe them, what they're doing, how the larvae get, developed. You can use magnifying glass. You can see what food they like and feed them. It's quite exciting. I hear an airplane approaching. But where? I think someone is flying their Cessna. Sounds like Cessna. There it is. Someone's going in for lunch now to the airport. Happy landings. I want a pet shark, but I don't have enough room in my house. Well, you can start with some easy to keep tropical fish. At least that's how I started. I ended up with what was it? It was 30 something liter aquarium or more, or was it 60? It was super big. It was quite nice. Tiny betta fish, yeah. Bettas, I always thought they are hard to keep because you cannot keep them like the males and females together, or two males together. They always fight till they die. But other ones, yeah, I was pretty successful with swordfish, guppies, medaka. Medaka is a good one. You can just keep it and they survive the winter. Wow, there's something over there. What is that? Hornet's nest? Let's investigate. You've never heard of Tibet? Come on. It's a country. Wait a minute. Is it a country? Tibet. What does this here say? Uh-oh. Oh, honeybees. Wow. Where? Where are they? Oh. It's a bee's nest. I think they. Oh, there is one, but that's an old one. Maybe they give up. They put meshes over the top so that the bees don't nest in there. I wonder if those look like maybe honeybees. Oh no, this is not honeybee. Oh my gosh, that's some kind of a wasp. But I think they have ceased their activities. Baby fish, yeah. I had this aquarium that was a perpetual aquarium. I've added, fish, and then they had babies, and the babies had babies, and it was just so well balanced. You really have to know, which ones are easy to keep, and not all the fish are good at one temperature, right? If you talk about the tropical fish. Yeah, looked more like wasps, very tiny, but they're gone, so I don't know. From the picture it looked like a wasp, but sometimes you find the honeybees. Like it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, there was one tree on the other side and it had honeybees in there, and I was just standing in front of them and they would fly around me. The Apis cerana kind of a bee. It's not the Apis mellifera, the one that we use everywhere, but cerana is more like it uses different hives and doesn't give as much honey as Apis mellifera, where everything is commercialized. We figured out the size of the frames for the hives, how to extract it quickly, how to work with them. Apis cerana are a bit different. Guppies are the easiest. Well, yeah. Guppies are easy, but I think easier than guppies were the swordtails. I always had swordtails and the Plecostomus, the algae-eating fish. Then the bottom dwellers, what was it? Kiris something. What are they called? Forgot the name. Neon tetra. Oh, neon tetra, yes, and cardinal tetra, even better than neon tetra. And you have to have the right lights, because they shine beautifully under that. But these fish, they like to be in a group, so they enjoy to be in a group of like 100 or 40. If your aquarium is tiny, it's kind of like they don't enjoy so much. But they're so fast. Also, zebras are like the fastest swimmers I have ever had. Fish are expensive in America. It depends which fish. Just simple tropical fish. People usually buy, like few of them. you buy a pair of swordtails, fingers crossed if they, don't die from some disease. And they have so many babies you don't need to buy at all for forever, pretty much. Yeah, zebras, I remember. I even managed to have zebrafish babies, but usually the adults will eat them up, or they end up in the filter. For beta fish, betas are kind of expensive. They are not easy to keep. You have to keep them separately, and they're more like a display fish, more, for sure the price is higher. But if you go to something easier, like where you can keep like zebrafish, swordtail fish, this one was really cheap. You can get 5 of them for probably few dollars. Or you can go to the river and catch something. I remember I got my first aquarium from my grandpa, and I went and I caught so many snails from a pond, and I've collected them all into the aquarium. It was so much fun. I'm trying to remember the name of the ones that are black or orange. Mollies, yeah, I had mollies, but they always got some disease or died on me. Swordtails always prevailed. Swordtails, zebra, and the algae-eating fish, Plecostomus. That guy lived like, my gosh, good 8 years. And it became like, from a tiny 2-centimeter fish, it grew to almost like 25 centimeters. It was a giant. At the pest store I went, they had glow sharks, but it was, oh wow, that's expensive. Yeah, there are some fish which are transgenic. They contain the gene for fluorescence. I think it's more of the recent trends in 20 years, where you take a fluorescent gene from jellyfish and incorporate it into the fish DNA, and then you have a glowing fish. This was Nobel Prize. One Japanese got Nobel Prize for isolating this, and it's used in sequencing of DNA and marking and making DNA gels in the laboratory. Start with the cheaper, yeah. And you have to get a filter that moves the water, so you get the bacteria growing in the filter, so they can break down all the fish wastes into less toxic things, and then you have to just change water every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. The glow sharks were like less than an inch. Oh wow, interesting. Never had one. Two crows are over there eating something. GM fish, yeah, did you hear about it? I was surprised. Like a few years back, I asked my dad, hey Dad, do you still have that aquarium I left? Or did you throw it away? And he said, oh yeah, I went and bought those transgenic fish. They glow in the dark. Jeez. So it's a thing, I guess. I don't know, maybe they're expensive, more expensive than usual. Yeah, filter, yeah, well, the filter is there, so the water moves through that filter. And once the fish does poo-poo, it goes, it dissolves in the aquarium water and goes through the filter. And on that filter, there will be bacteria growing that love to break down those wastes into less toxic things. I think it's nitrite going to nitrate, or nitrate going to nitrite. Nitrate, it will kill the fish really quickly in a matter of days. But if the bacteria break it to nitrate, they can be there for 3 weeks or more. And then you change the water and dilute it, so they have more time for living. Yeah, genetically modified. So like the bigger the aquarium, the more you need to filter that water, and you need to have circulation. When the water is moving, it catches and dissolves the oxygen in it, and that's how the fish can breathe. Of course, it really makes them happy if you have something else than a fish bowl with one fish. And that filter grows the bacteria. You always run that filter. You never really shut it down because the bacteria will die. So you have to kind of keep it in the water while you are cleaning it. There are lots of different kinds of filters. In case where you would have to take everything out, you probably take a piece of old filter and put it together with the new filter you put in there, just in case you need to switch, so that bacteria can have a jump start. Otherwise all your fish might die, which is shocking. Mine was 5-10 gallons, but did pretty good. Wow, that's nice. Yeah, in a sense, smaller aquarium is much harder to manage than a medium or huge aquarium. Because if you do something with the small one, even a little thing can change, the water. It can change its acidity, it can change the bacteria, it can change temperature, Fish get stressed and they die. But the big ones, you change things, but it's such a big thing that, it might just not affect every fish in there or at all, because it's bigger. I started with small ones. Everybody starts with a small aquarium, and they always realize, oh my gosh, my fish are dead. Oh, let's buy them again. Okay, they survive now. Experiment, like to treat the water, you have to remove the chlorine. I had big, canister filters, like from here to there. That thing was pumping like water in the bathtub. But the aquarium was also, huge. Almost like, human could go into it. Myrna, how are you doing, Myrna? How is the weather here? It's hot, end of rainy season, but it's really not rainy. Yeah, just the betas are usually sold like in the fish bowl. One fish per fish bowl, maybe it's okay, but they will swim a little bit at the top to breathe better, because there's nothing really stirring the oxygen in order to dissolve it into the water. But you can get very cheap like an aquarium starter set with a cheap filter that's moving the water, and I can tell you the fish will just feel way better in an aquarium like that, especially with the filter. I had so many aquariums, you know. Every time I have aquarium, I give it to someone, and then I had more aquariums and more fish. At one point, I just took everything to like a recycle store, and I told them, I don't want any money. Just take it off my hand. And as a bonus, here is the big aquarium stand I bought for like $400 once. Wow, they took everything. Man, disposing things in Japan is so tricky. You cannot just throw this stuff out. It's still alive. Well, yeah, one fish is probably okay. Oh, another flight. Do you need air? If you have a filter and that water is flowing at the top, spilling onto the surface, then you don't really need. Unless you get really high temperatures, like, you know, at the range of that fish, like if the fish can tolerate 36, but it can also tolerate maybe barely 38, and if the temperature is reached, it won't have enough, that oxygen doesn't dissolve well in hotter, you know, water. So if you put some air, it will stir more water, and that will help. But other than that, nah, you don't need really. For aesthetic purposes, you can put some air. But you know, air makes sound. You have to have a pump. But with the filter, you know, there are the filters that spill the water through the filter, and it comes out, and it silently returns the water into the tank. It's like soundless. There's no sound at all, which and that spilling dissolves enough water, which, you know, circulates back into the filter. So there's always some oxygen in there. Yeah. Yeah, there are the bubbly filters too. I usually buy the ones that are just like a engine with a magnet, so they just silently pump, like there's no sound at all. Yeah, get a filter, get a tiny aquarium, see how it goes. You can probably search on the internet, you know, how many of like swordtails can you keep in a tank, because there is a maximum number sometimes, you know, like if the fish get overcrowded, they also don't like it. But a small tank, 2 fish of, you know, this size, yeah, lots of fun. Then you can explore, you know, artificial plants, or do you want real plants? Yeah, you can go as crazy as injecting carbon dioxide and seeing those plants grow into a forest. This is so cool. Usually, you know, if you have lots of fish in the aquarium, they produce that carbon dioxide and the plants eat it nicely. But you know, it's a crazy hobby. You can try anything. Whatever works for you. Don't overdo it. I saved up my allowance money to get a filter. Yeah, excellent hobby. I think you will enjoy it. Read it up on the internet, you know. There's lots of things for like beginners to know, you know, how you have to treat the water when you change the fish aquarium water, and how much of water to change, and things like that. What's that plant that floats where the babies can hide? Oh, there are lots of plants that float. Some are like lily, looking like lilies, but there's one that's completely green. I know which one you mean. But there's lots of plants where a baby can hide. And some fish, you know, they put eggs on there so that other fish don't see it. If you want to have lots of babies, you have to have lots of plants. Otherwise, you have to figure out when the babies get born and move the adults to some other tank till the babies get bigger and not get eaten. Yeah, in the nature they just hide in the profuse plants. But with keeping them, you know, in a tank, it's a little challenging. They eat algae. Looks like asparagus. Oh, those ones! Oh, I had so much of it, like kilograms of this stuff. It was like a lettuce growing in the garden. Anyway, I gotta get going. Thanks for coming. I gotta unmeld myself, and my phone is hot. Yes, gross. The fern. Anyway, take care. See you guys. Bye for now.